In my video today, I'm going to be talking about specialisation within the talent pathway. So what is specialisation in a talent pathway? Specialisation can be split into two categories: early specialisation and late specialisation. Early specialisation is where a young athlete is specialised at an early age in one sport and only plays and focuses on that sport, whereas late specialisation is where an athlete plays multiple sports during their youth stage and then going to specialise in a certain sport at an older age. Late specialisation can also be called diversification, with all the different sports they play during their time as a young athlete. So what are the benefits of early specialisation? The benefits of early specialisation for a young athlete in a talent pathway are they can specialise in a certain skill set, develop in the same sport and develop a love for the sport. They can also get into a routine in a sport, have a high level of knowledge for the sport, develop a career network, be provided with opportunities to become elite or play at a higher level, develop mental toughness for that sport, become comfortable in the sport and be dedicated in the sport. Similarly, what are the benefits of diversification? The benefits of diversification for a young athlete in a talent pathway are that they will develop more social skills and they will also develop transferable skills between the sports they play. They will also be playing sport for fun and enjoyment and therefore enjoy sport more. They will also develop durability. They may also find an opportunity to be good in an alternate sport they may never have known about. Furthermore, they will develop a multi-sport knowledge and develop a broader skill set. In addition, specialisation can also be separated into two subcategories: deliberate practice and deliberate play. So what is deliberate practice? Deliberate practice is similar to early specialisation, where an athlete is only focusing on one sport and improving in that sport. According to Erickson et al. 1993, deliberate practice is well-defined activities which are repetitive and at an appropriate level, just in the one sport they specialise in. Deliberate practice also provides opportunity for external feedback, can allow for error detection and correction. Furthermore, deliberate practice is a connected effort for improving performance, and finally, deliberate practice is not inherently enjoyable. Moreover, deliberate play is similar to diversification. So what is deliberate play? Deliberate play, according to Cote 2007, is giving these young athletes diversity and freedom to try new and alternative approaches. Deliberate play also modifies rules for the different sports and focuses on fun and enjoyment. Deliberate play also allows young athletes to develop fundamental skills and finally promotes diversity in movement and skill acquisition. In addition to this, I believe more recent research is leaning towards deliberate play and diversification being more beneficial to young athletes, as this research was done in 2007, whereas with deliberate practice research was published 27 years ago. Furthermore, Gulick 2011 did some research with 1,500 world-class German athletes. In the research he did, he found that early specialisation often only generated early success, however with less senior achievement. Also, world-class athletes were often characterised by lots of training and commitment to other sports at younger ages. In addition to this, he found that the volume of training during early diversification was often similar to early specialisation, just across more activities and sports. Finally, the research shows that there was a number of different pathways that athletes did take to become world-class, and some did specialise early and make it world-class. So from this research, we can also conclude that world-class athletes often do more sessions in other sports than national class athletes, and national class athletes peak too early by specialising in one sport. So, despite most of the research showing diversification and deliberate play to be more beneficial in a talent pathway, why do young athletes specialise in one sport too early? Research from Erickson 1993 suggests that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice is required to reach excellence. This is why some young athletes end up specialising early due to the number of hours required to achieve this. They cannot afford to spend more time playing another activity or sport. However, the research also shows that this method is focused on improving performance, which isn't the primary goal at the youth development stage, and this method isn't very motivating. Furthermore, it is also counterproductive to begin deliberate practice in a specific sport until athletes have fully developed physical literacy. In addition, doing this deliberate practice too early and specialising at a young age is shown to contribute to one-dimensional sports participants, athletic deficiencies, overuse injuries and burnout. Research has also shown that athletes that spend more hours per week than their age playing a single sport are 70% more likely to suffer from an overuse injury. This is because at young ages, these athletes are still developing and growing and continuously using the same muscles in one sport, which will affect the growth plate. For example, Ryan Giggs, who is one of Britain's most successful footballers and is Manchester United's most capped player ever, a 13-time Premier League winner, talked about how playing multiple sports at a young age helped him develop and helped him prolong his career. Again, despite more research critiquing early specialisation and deliberate practice, why do young athletes do it? More often than not, the parents of the young athlete make the decisions on the sports their child plays and how many different sports their child play. Therefore, this will lead to parents influencing their child to specialise early, as they believe the more practice in one sport means the better they will be, and often pressure their child to not waste their talent and play another sport. Similarly, with parents being the decision makers in what sports their child plays, they may only be able to afford or take their child to one sport. This may be due to the lack of finance or through other commitments, but this means that their child is specialising in one sport, which, as I have said before, might not be beneficial. In addition, looking at the research supporting early specialisation and deliberate practice in Erickson et al. 1993, this was published over 14 years before Cote 2007 and Gulick 2011, which supports diversification and deliberate play. Therefore, parents or young athletes themselves would have seen this research supporting specialisation first, and therefore that is why so many young athletes specialise and continue to specialise, as it is what they've been taught. But despite this, I believe the research supporting diversification and deliberate play is more accurate, as it has been researched and published more recently with more evidence of both sides and how diversification has been proved to create more world-class athletes.